it's great to see a bunch of you guys. It really is. Tough game. Don't want to take anything away from Texas. I thought they played hard the way we knew it would be, and disappointed a little bit in our guys the way we didn't take shots early, and I thought we really got back on our heels. But obviously, I'm happy with the way that we fought to the end to give ourselves a chance to win the basketball game. But with that said, from our vantage point, we've got to get more consistent. We do have to do that, and I told our team too that we've played enough games now that we don't need learning more lessons about not understanding how you got to play for 40 minutes on both ends of the court. You know, we're a good defensive team, and you know we did mix some things up tonight, but the pressure at the end is, you know, we knew we were going to bring it at some point in time, and I'm just glad with the way our guys went at it and fought, and a lot of good things. Really happy for VJ Bailey coming home, and his determination and grit was, you know, I think if we picked a most light guy on our team, it would be VJ. I mean, his teammates love him to death, and for him, he made some huge plays there that the offensive stick back and in the charge that he picked up. But it's just his tenacity, but on to the next, and we play again Tuesday night, but we've got to get more consistent, especially on the offensive end. We had guys turning down shots for what reason? I wish I know. I actually, at the end of the game, said the next guy that turns down a shot's coming out of the game, whether he, you know, makes it or not. But you better take it. And we finally got aggressive and started playing with some force.
Raise your hands for questions.
Rick, did the emotion of this match what you maybe thought it would? Did you try to avoid thinking about it? What was it like? Just kind of the whole night.
Well, again, I've said for 17 just beautiful years here in Austin at this university, and had the chance the last couple of days to see some people that I dearly love to death. And, you know, I've kind of grown old with many of them. And, but it was special. It really was. And I certainly appreciate it. I certainly appreciate Chris Beard and, you know, two of my former guys, or, you know, they're as much my guys as they are his guys. And everybody in general. It was just I really appreciate it. I really do, and appreciate the fans. But I also knew that once the ball got tipped up, it was time to try to win a basketball game, and then you totally get absorbed with that. But I can only say I appreciate, you know, Chris and the basketball staff and Chris Del Conte and everyone doing what they did. It was. I didn't expect it. I'd said for years I didn't want to come back. I didn't want it to be about me, but it touched me. It did, and I wouldn't be, you know, telling you the truth if it didn't. But seeing my former players, you know, Damian James, TJ, and James Thomas flew down, got in late this afternoon, and they're out there. I get to see a bunch of them. Brandon Mouton, it was here, and the best part, truthfully, was seeing their families and how these guys have grown up to be great fathers, and it's as I talk about people here that I've grown old with. I've grown old with some really terrific players too, and it's special. And I'm excited about Texas coming into the league because I'll get to come back. I hope, if the good Lord's willing, and whenever that's going to happen, and because it's a special place. Obviously, the last year here in this building. A lot of memories, you know. I've seen shots like that fall at the end too against us. I was hoping that one would go in, but again, and thank you all. I look out and see all you guys. I mean, you guys were great to me, and we've grown old together. But I said I'm been truly blessed the opportunity that I had here, and now being at Tennessee, working for a tremendous university and great leaders, and I don't know if anybody could have it any better than I've had it.
Go right here and then to Rob.
Well, technically, only Kirk and Rozzy got older. The rest of us stayed the same.
They're looking good, though. You know, they're looking good.
What a liar.
Well, Coach Royal told me one time that when you start getting old is when they start telling you. He used to say, people would ask him how he's doing. He said, "Well, I'm feeling good." And then people start saying to him, "Well, you know, are you looking good?" He said, "When they started telling me that, I knew I was getting old." You know.
Why'd you let your grandson celebrate?
You know, Caleb is special to me. He's our first grandson. You know, I was here in Austin when my daughter and son-in-law, who I obviously love dearly, they knew before they ever got married, they knew they had a heart for adoption. They did not know it would happen as quickly as it did. We had Austin Stone had a guy come in from Uganda that was talking about there's a little young guy over in Uganda, Kampala, that was looking for a home. And I remember first time I saw him, I was at the base of the escalators at Austin Bergstrom Airport, and I saw him and he came down. He was 16 months old, and you know they named him after me, which he's my guy, and I just love him to death. You know, there's nothing. I mean, he knows he's got me where he wants me to anytime. You know, but it was his birthday yesterday, and like I said, I'd been asked to play this game a couple years past, but I wasn't ready. But knowing that they're going to close the building, I said, you know, we need to do this, not just for me, but for the University of Tennessee, because you know you remember they came in here, and you know when I went to Knoxville, if I heard it once, I've heard it 1,000 times how they beat us with Kevin Durant, and I tell them all the time they didn't beat us. The referee called a 5-second count, and I have it on camera today where he counted 3 times and blew the whistle. I said, so they didn't beat us. But playing Texas is, you know, I mean, they believe me, I hear it all the time. But yet, that was the reason, you know, all that. But his birthday made it special too.
Sure. Same as the Arizona game.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Robin in the back.
Coach, I would imagine you probably executed your defensive game plan pretty well. I mean, how disappointing is it to hold in 52 points and come out short?
Well, you know, we knew, Rob, you know us as well as anybody. We knew we were going to play zone at some time. I kind of wish now that instead of just if I don't make myself use it sometime on out of bounds plays, it's hard for me to go to it because I have so much confidence in our defense. And but we did it from out of bounds, and they scored some. They had a tough time against Oklahoma State with a zone. They had a tough time with pressure against Oklahoma State. We knew that at the end that we were going to stay with the pressure all the way through. When, you know, during the timeout, the coaches said to me, Coach, we got a 2-possession game. What do you do? I said, exactly what we're doing. We're going to stay with it. But, you know, we're just, I can't figure it out on offense. I think we're a good offensive team. I've seen us be. I just don't understand why guys that we really count on won't shoot shots when they need to, and it puts everybody back on their heels. But defensively, yeah, you know, we thought we could, you know, we think we can guard most people we play, but the free throws in the first half hurt us. You know, the play at the end of it would have been a tie game at halftime. We shouldn't have put ourselves in that position there. We've done it twice already this year at half court at the buzzer shots, but the way we came out at halftime is disappointing. But the way we closed, I mean, think about it, we had our best shooter with a wide open shot at the top, you know, right off in the slot area, missed it, and then we executed our out-of-bounds play. You know what, we were planning on bringing it to half court because we did not think they would let us run by them like we did. And I told Zakai when it comes in, if you got it, you go. If I don't think you got it, you don't worry about a timeout. I would call it. And you know, I mean, we couldn't ask for a better look. And and Zakai and the force we played with at the end, his force. I mean, all those guys out there at the end did a terrific job.
Rick, do you see a lot of similarities in your style and identity with Chris? And
Yeah, I do, Kurt, because you know he's a defensive-minded guy. He totally is, and you know he's into it and rebounding, taking care of the ball. I don't even know how many turnovers we had tonight, but how many we have tonight? We had 11. They had 18, and we didn't get much out. Again, the free throw line really hurt us tonight. What did we? We were 5 for 12, but gosh, I mean it's the 1-and-1s. They didn't do a much better job. I can't quite read it. I don't have my bifocals on, but I think they didn't. What were they? 6 for? So it wasn't a very pretty display from the free throw line from either one of us, you know. But yeah, I think we're similar. And you know what? I thought they played really well at TCU. I thought they got it connected there and knew they would come in with that momentum and ride that. But yeah, I would say there's a lot of similarities in the way we both, I think, see the game.
Troy, right here.
Rick, what went into the decision of Sid Kennedy as a
Was a guy, you know, we even thought about there at the end, but it's just the fact that that group was playing and that they actually wanted to stay like that. You know, I asked them when they were coming over, I said, anybody need a blow? and they all say, "No, coach, let us go. Let us keep riding this." And sometimes you got to listen to them, and so you know they felt good about it, and he certainly. He's a tough guy. You know, he a couple times during the game he went in, but he's not going to stop going. You know, he's a force, and but those guys were in a rhythm, in a groove, and that's why we just stayed with them, and they wanted to.
Coach, can you talk about the factor of Texas's defense on your players and also the crowd?
Well, you know, at this level, you play in front of crowds. I mean, you think about the places that we go to play. I mean, you get used to it, and the crowds. I don't know at this time of the year if crowds affect any team that much on the road. I really don't. I'm not sure because you've played enough games, and when it gets close like this, you really become oblivious to the crowd. Like, for whatever reason, the good Lord's, I'm oblivious to crowds. Even at we had 20,000 fans in our building the other night playing Florida, and we had that when we were playing LSU the game before. And I hardly hear them, but yet it is loud, and I know it is. But you just go, and I think players do that at the end of the game. I don't think our players were anywhere. And if anything, when we make a run like we did there at the end, it affects the other team, home team, a lot because of their fans maybe aren't as loud and they are sitting back. I mean, I felt that at our place before, you know, where everybody's on edge, like, are we going to win? Are we going to win? But these guys have played so much basketball at a high level in arenas where I'm just not sure it affects it like people might think. And you'd like to think that it doesn't because we talk about getting locked in. And I'm not going to say I do think it helps you at home. Like I can tell you the other night we were down 13, 16 at home, and our crowd brought us back. They helped us. You know, once we got going, it helped us. So do I think it affected Florida in that situation? Maybe a little bit, but then it still got down to where both teams were just fighting their hearts out to get it done. But we like to be the kind of team that wherever we go that we want to play in front of a big crowd.
Anybody else?
Glad this is over.
You know what? Really and truly, Brian, I wanted to win this basketball game. I know our team wanted. I know my guys wanted to win this game for me, and I know they did. And I didn't talk to them about it. I promise you, I did not do one thing different. We didn't do one thing different preparing for this game as we did for anybody else because I didn't want them to be too emotional about it. But you know, that's our family. We're together. And you know, Mike Schwartz on my staff. You know, he's been here. Like one of my coaches grew up here in Texas. So, but. I don't think I could ever say I'm glad it's over when I've had a chance to see so many beautiful, wonderful people that have been a big part of my life, and I'll see them here and some more when I leave here right now, and might not see them again for a couple years. And you know, I honestly miss seeing Leon Black here tonight. I miss Darryl Royal being here. You know, I talked to Mac. I kidded with him. I said, if we could win the game, I'm going to walk in here with you on FaceTime and let you address the media. You know. But I do miss all that. I miss Augie Garrido, you know. I mean, I miss those guys. But
Saw Don.
yeah, well, Don flew in early. Don spent the afternoon. Don has been over to the Knoxville a bunch since I've been there. He's been there a bunch, and you know, excited to see him more. You know, he just recently got remarried and married a North Carolina girl, but he's from the first time I met him, and I tell everybody I would never have ended up in Austin if it wasn't for Don Evans. He was the guy that when I walked out of that interview up at the Crescent Hotel, DeLoss put his arm on my neck and said, I want you to be our next basketball coach. Can you give me a decision? I said, I'll tell you tomorrow. And when I got on the plane, my wife simply said to me, you want your children growing up around people like Don Evans and DeLoss Dodds. And he came in and he really took that meeting over that day, and he has been a dear friend of mine. We text every morning. Every morning we reach out and share devotionals. But he's a brother.
So it's just the job they were able to do on Santiago. Nobody's really done that to him.
Well, you know what? They did a good job. The other people have, but I don't know. Now he has some shots. he should have shot the ball. I took him out, and I said, hey, if you're not going to shoot the ball, you need to tell me. I said, hey, if you thought you're going to get wide open looks, you're not. You've been guarded like this all year. And he moved without the ball, but I don't know why he, we ran a play for him, and he had as good a look, Rob, as he's going to get any time. And why he went back to wanting to over dribble the ball, I don't know. And but he did some other things by them taking him out. He picked up those fouls on those back screens inside where, they weren't helping off of him. But he did turn down some shots that. But again, they play good defense. They don't just on Santi, but they're a very, very sound defensive team.
I don't want to cut off anybody. Any more questions for Coach?
Roz, how you doing, man? I think you have gotten better looking. Yeah. Have you been hibernating since the COVID?
I have.
That's what it is. You know what it is? They call
The only
it.
guy I know that
Hey,
does it, so.
they call it beauty sleep. That's what they call it. But again, great seeing all you guys. I love you, and years to come. I hope I'm back here and get to see you again. Take care and God bless.